church, and when I'm singing hymns at church, like it's a whole different experience than when I listen to The Cure or whoever, Depeche Mode,
Mm-hmm.
whoever I'm listening to. It's it's like a different process. So I went to like a big church when I was in California recently, and I'd never been to a church like that before, and I loved the sermon. I loved the message. The people were so nice and great and everything. But I will say I didn't like. I couldn't enjoy the song part of it. Like both my husband and I looked at it, was like, it just didn't feel. It feels weird to us. Like it feels like we're watching a concert. I'm watching somebody sing a song, and because I know how to write a pop song, I'm like, I all I'm thinking of is the songwriting session that it took to get to this, and like the
Yeah.
emotional cues, and then the repetitiveness of it, the drop, and then here comes this, and it's just like I don't, it doesn't, and everybody was singing along. I'm like, okay, so they listened to that in their cars, like that's what they listened to, and that's totally cool. It's just not for me,
Yeah.
like I just want to listen to like the old stuff, and that so I'm like, should I stop listening to love songs? Because that's my genre, is like I just write love songs, and a lot of them are reflection. They're sad love songs. They're like reflections of experiences I've had, or feelings I've had when my husband and I get in a fight, or whatever it is. Like these are expressions of my experience. And do I and I think, like, is it wrong? And you can help me maybe figure this out. Is it wrong that not everything is about God in a sense, or Jesus?
Hmm.
Like, is it wrong that like some people like
Blend it there. Her statement that she knows how to write the pop song, and her comparison, again, talking about pop culture, wearing the flashy sweater or the Jordans or whatever. The music actually has taken on that same form.
Yeah.
And it's a chasing after an ecstatic experience. And it might not be an encounter with, you don't have a vision or something like that, but it's still a chasing after an ecstatic experience, because it's designed to create within you a certain kind of emotion. Whereas at the beginning, she said she really likes hymns because they're different and they do something to her deeper than just that ecstatic experience. It's not about the feeling, it's about the transformation.
Right. And there's depth many times in those hymns, in the words of the hymns, that isn't present in, I would say, most of modern contemporary Christian music.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, that I think that hits one of the reasons she probably feels like it's a different thing. Um, it's it's operating at a different level, and this it's tough because you know you you talk to people, they're going to have ecstatic experiences, or they're going to have things that happen in church, and I don't think we're trying to discount those things.
No, I've
The
had many, many good ones, transformative ones.
the Daniel, maybe your comments on this in a second. One of the things I see as different, and certain things that have happened to me at church, even recently or prior, or how I hear other people talk about it, is when the ecstatic experience is about you rather than about God. And I don't know how to say that any better. So,
There's an ecstatic experience where you're listening to the worship music and it lulls at just the right time and it repeats the words and it's doing things emotionally to you. And then there's the ecstatic experience where you're not aware of yourself anymore.
Mm-hmm.
and you're suddenly face to face with something that's beyond you. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to say God because, no man can see God's face and that. But like you, at the same time, I want to say God because like I believe that is like you're coming in contact with something that transcend that the being who transcends and made everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a transformative experience. And your emotions are important too.
Right.
Okay. So like having the warm and fuzzies isn't a bad thing. But chasing after the warm and fuzzies, I think, is a lot of what worship culture tends to lean towards in our therapeutic culture.
I don't know if I'll get the time to say this, but the one difference for me that has happened as of late is like ecstatic experiences that feel like a release versus ecstatic experiences that feel like a burden. I think for those that
Yeah.
have had the latter, they know exactly what I mean.